you stand back and you look at it, Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus are pretty good ripoffs. Especially if you pay full price for it, which I hope none of you do. I've never paid $60 for a full year of gold, which I think is how much it cost. I buy them up in bulk, like whenever I find really good deals. A few years ago, Newegg had like 12-month cards for like $30 a piece, so they were half off. So I picked up several at a time. But I would never pay $60. I mean, if you do, nothing against you, but I feel like you're really getting ripped off at that point if you are paying that price point. I mean, let's be honest. What does Live and Plus really give you? It lets you play with your friends, right? It gives you cross-party chat. You get achievements. And it gives you access to their software. And you get some discounts occasionally, and you get these quote-unquote free games. Did I miss anything? You can do each and every single one of those if you're a PC gamer for absolutely free. You can play with your friends. You can cross-party chat. I think Steam even now has its own little party thing that you can do voice on. And if not, then there's definitely plenty of free software, like Skype, that you can jump on. You can unlock achievements, and PC gets plenty of discounts, and there's no shortage of free-to-play games. Now, if we were just comparing it to Nintendo's online multiplayer, you know, I might think a little bit differently about it. I might say, well, look, when you compare all the extra features that we're getting, I would rather pay for it to have this sort of infrastructure. But the PC shows that people do it, and you don't have to pay for it. And I know that there's a lot of different variables when it comes down to, you know, PC versus console. And I've made that argument plenty of times before, and I think I make a pretty solid argument for why people choose consoles over PC. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some points that you simply just can't win on with consoles, and this is one of them. When it comes to having to pay a subscription service just to simply play half the game you already purchased. And a lot of things have changed, you know, back in 2002 or whenever Xbox Live launched, nothing else had ever been built like that. So I could understand paying a premium price to use a premium service. But, I mean, that was back then, and you got to look at where you're at right now. And here we are going into 2015, and I think the policy is way outdated. I mean, I think it was outdated whenever you were making people charge to use apps that other devices allowed to use, you know, freely. And I think it's outdated to think that you should charge people to just simply play online multiplayer whenever they've already bought the game. They've paid full price. They didn't pay only half the price to only experience half the game. And let's be real, it must not cost that much to allow people to play on your servers, because PC has been doing it for forever with nobody actually having to pay anything if you don't want to. And you may say, well, you know, since we pay for it, we get all these frequent updates. But, I mean, again, the argument kind of falls apart when you look at things like Steam that are getting new features added on all the time. So you can't really argue that, and you can't really argue that you want to pay to get discounts and free games, these quote-unquote free games. You know, that's kind of like a hotel giving you $200 worth of coupons. They're not really giving you $200. You're never going to use most of it, and so most people don't care about a lot of the games that come out there, and you would be better off, you know, having that money that you weren't paying in for a subscription service, and then just go out and simply buy the game that you want yourself. I mean, that just makes a lot more sense. And you'd also have more money in your pocket where you don't need a discount, you know? So, I mean, that kind of little stuff that they add on to try to make it seem like it's a lot better than what it is, it's still pure shit whenever you just look at the very bottom line. And the very bottom line is, you're paying for things that you shouldn't have to be paying for. So I honestly think something needs to happen. I think something needs to change. One of these companies needs to step up, whether it's PlayStation, and they go back and they say, look, We didn't charge you for playing PS3 online. We're not going to charge you with PS4. Or whether it's Xbox that stands up and says the same thing, that you should be able to play online multiplayer for free. So they're tearing down that paywall. But I do think that there are things that they could do to keep people still subscribing. And these are some benefits. Even if you're going to keep it like it is, I still think we should get more for the amount that it actually costs to be one of these subscribers. I mean, for an Xbox Live Gold membership, I think that if you should buy into that, then you should also get a Xbox Live Music Pass for your subscription service to get people listening to your music. And that might actually encourage more people to use it and to buy other things on it. But I think you should at least get so many songs or something for free for a month. I also think you should get like free movie rentals from the video marketplace. And again, this might get more people using these programs who normally wouldn't use them, and again, get more sales in the end. And I also think that if you're having to pay for a service, there should not be on the next generation console any games that come out from your first party that you're publishing that should not have dedicated servers for the multiplayer. So I think Xbox does have dedicated servers for all their first party games. I'm not for certain, but any game that they publish, I think should be on dedicated servers. And I would say, instead of giving me free games, give me some sort of points or something that I can accrue to, turn in to get some DLC maybe for a game that I've already bought and purchased. Or allow us to rack up points in order to turn in and actually download a full game maybe throughout the year. We get one game a year or something. I don't know, one good game, a game that we actually want and we can choose and pick, instead of them just, sending out crap and then occasionally showing a gem that maybe some people haven't bought already. So I think there are things that they can add to add more value, but I also think that there is value that people aren't getting that they should be getting just because they purchased your hardware. You should not have to pay extra simply to play online multiplayer, simply to play half of the game that you bought. If you bought the game, you should have access to all of it. And talking to your friends shouldn't cost any extra either. The only thing that should cost extra are extras. Things that aren't necessary. But you just sold a consumer a gaming console, and that's like selling somebody a computer and then telling them, oh, if you want to go on the internet with that computer, you gotta pay an extra fee. That makes no damn sense. They should be able to hook up to the internet and to be able to use their game that they paid for. Currently, the only reason Microsoft and Sony charge players in order to play online is because they can. And I've been honestly happy with the service for years. I'm not planning on dropping the service anytime soon, but again, I don't pay full price for it. I don't pay anywhere near it, and I encourage other people not to pay full price for it. But that still doesn't change the fact that whenever you stand back and you look at it, it's simply not right. You're charging people just to get on the internet. So anyway, that does it for me, the Red Dragon. Post your thoughts below. Do you believe Xbox Live Gold and PS Plus are worth it? Should we have to pay to play online multiplayer? Should you have to pay to experience the full game that you bought? And do you think either one of these companies will end up making multiplayer free? That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.